up on FYI. Should we be worried about artificial intelligence?
I think it's okay to use AI as long as there's lots of rules and regulations put into place, as it could get real out of hand if we didn't.
And this dog has just won a world record. But can you guess what for?
Hello, this is FYI, your weekly news show where we bring you all the latest on all the top stories.
And this week we're going to start off with something that's been in the news a lot recently: artificial intelligence. AI is technology that enables a computer to think or act in a more human way. It does this by taking in information from its surroundings and deciding its response based on what it learns or senses.
In theory, AI could make a lot of things easier, from everyday tasks like writing emails to medical procedures. However, some of AI's inventors and other experts have come forward with concerns about how powerful AI could become in the future.
We don't understand how these systems work. We don't know what they're capable of, and that means that we can't control them. We can't get them to behave themselves.
Yeah, and I also seen that the UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak had a meeting with the US President Joe Biden over possible threats from AI.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's good that they're taking caution, but it is quite scary.
I find it so scary. And other people are concerned that young people like us could use AI to cheat on things like our homework, with online services like ChatGPT being able to write realistic school essays in seconds.
Yeah, I can see how that would be tempting. Other people are worried about AI replacing people in workplaces, such as call centres, which would mean loads of people losing their jobs.
Well, we wanted to get your shout on this, so we headed to Muirridge Primary School in Glasgow to hear what the pupils thought about AI.
AI is a good thing to help us with dangerous situations, like, yeah, going to space, going to Mars, but also going in volcanoes and exploring, like, the bottom of the sea.
And it could take over jobs that people really don't like.
It can help scientists with research for vaccines and cures to different diseases.
That I want AI to do that I don't like doing is probably cleaning my room, or
I hate doing that.
like folding clothes or putting away the dishes or something.
Should we be afraid of AI?
Some things, yes, but other things, no.
I think it's okay to use AI as long as there's lots of rules and regulations put into place, as it could get real out of hand if we didn't.
I don't think it should be stopped. I think it should be slowed down like a lot.
You can get worried about it, like, because people are saying that AI could possibly and potentially take over the world. But some people aren't afraid of that because they really don't believe it.
In my opinion, I don't think anything's that bad about AI either.
Do you think that AI should be allowed to help with homework?
From maths perspective, yeah. What happens if your mum and dad work all the time and your mum and dad don't have time to help with you?
But it would also be good if they could, like, help you work out how to get to the answer, if they could explain it to you.
Yeah, I agree with that. It should be able to help you, but not just do it for you.
I don't think that AI should be helping with homework because it basically counts as cheating. And if your teacher found out, then you'd probably get, like, very bad grades.
So, we all know that football is great for keeping us active and having fun. But how much can it also help our mental health?
Well, Jeriah went to meet Premier League footballer Tim Ream to find out more.
Tim Ream is not only Fulham's captain, he is also an international player and played for the US in the last World Cup. The reason I'm here is to hear more about his work as an ambassador for an organisation called Virtual Soccer School, or VSS, that is having a worldwide effect on young people's mental health.
And he finishes...
Oh!
Sorry. That was a bit much.
Well done.
So can you tell me a little bit about Virtual Soccer School and why it's important?
Yeah, so Virtual Soccer Schools, we travel around the world virtually and we speak to kids about mental health, about what it means, how it relates to everyday life, how it relates to football. We kick it off with questions that comes from founder Tom Lamb, and then we open the floor and let students come to the screen and interact. And we talk about anxiety, we talk about pressure, we talk about nervousness, we talk about just everything, because I've learned through my football career that my mental health, and I'm not in a good place, then physically I'm going to feel sluggish, I'm not going to feel great. And I learned that it's important to talk about it.
As a footballer, what were some of your biggest mental challenges?
I think one of the biggest is always a change in situation or a change in manager, and new ideas come with a new manager. Those challenges are difficult, and you sometimes think, am I good enough? Can I do this? You know, not knowing what they are going to think of you is a big challenge. Everybody thinks as a footballer that everything is just so perfect all the time. You know, that's never been the case. Anybody who tells you it is not telling you the truth.
So, what would you say to someone who's struggling with their mental health?
Speak to somebody. Checking in on each other, checking in on your friends, checking in on family members is probably the easiest, quickest way to look after yourself and look after others. I'm not moving, promise.
That was such a bad pen!
It's all right though, you hit it with pace.
Oh my goodness.
So one of the biggest stories in the news this week is Prince Harry's appearance in court. So what's going on? Well, we've been investigating.
Yeah, it's part of a legal case against Mirror Group newspapers, who own some really well-known newspapers like the Daily Mirror, the Express and the Sunday People. Prince Harry is suing them because he believes that they wrongly gathered private information by using illegal methods such as hacking his phone. Phone hacking is when someone secretly uses force to gain access over recorded voicemail messages. Harry claims Mirror Group newspapers then published his private information in their papers against his will. The newspaper group denies all allegations.
And he's not the only celeb taking action. 100 other people, including ex-footballer Ian Wright and pop star Cheryl Cole, are also suing the Mirror Group for phone hacking. So why is it such a big deal that Prince Harry is giving evidence?
Well, it's not the typical royal thing to do. Prince Harry will actually be the first senior royal to give evidence in a trial in over 130 years. The last time was back in 1891, when Edward VII gave evidence in a dispute over a game of cards. Well, here's another thing I saw in the news recently. Prime, the famous energy drink. So Maya, have you tried it yet?
I have actually tried it. I didn't really like it though, it was very sweet.
I thought it was all right, to be honest with you.
I think it's really only popular because it's just another craze, you know?
Yeah, and I know a lot of people are drinking it within schools, but maybe not for much longer, as some schools are now banning the drink as they feel it's too much of a distraction for pupils.
Prime is an energy and hydration drink created by social media celebs KSI and Logan Paul.
When it was first released in 2022, people scrambled to get a bottle, with shops selling out or rationing it to one per customer.
So, it may be popular, but some teachers aren't so sure. One school said they were banning it as having a bottle became a major distraction in lessons.
Have you got a toy car collection? Well, check this out. 6-year-old Daniel and his dad Ross love toy cars so much that they started posting photos of Daniel's collection in different places around the country, from Edinburgh Castle to Buckingham Palace.
They're now celebrating 1,000 days of snapping cars at different UK landmarks and have had messages of support from all over the world. Nice one, guys.
Well, I know this month for a lot of us is all about exams, and I know it can be a little bit of a struggle sometimes.
Yeah, it can be a pretty stressful time. Exams definitely aren't for everyone. And what happens if you don't get the result that you want? Well, if you just don't get it, then don't worry, because Jeriah's been getting some top tips.
Racing heart. Sweaty hands. Not sleeping too well. With revision bits piling up high, it's easy to get worried about exams crashing towards you. And what if you're no good at exams? Is there anything you can do about it? Well, I'm on the case with some top tips to help you out. And before you go throwing all your books out the window and hiding under your bed, remember, everyone's going through the same thing, so you're not alone. And it's natural to be a bit stressed. It shows you want to do your best. So what is the best way to revise? I might need some backup here. Oh! This is Ruby Granger, who shares study tips and advice on her YouTube channel. And trust me, she knows what she's talking about. Hi, Ruby.
Hi, Jeriah.
So, what are the best ways to revise?
Well, the best thing you can do is active recall. So putting the things that you are learning into practice, doing flashcards or practice questions, that's what's going to really prepare you to do well in your exam. The other thing is just planning ahead and scheduling your revision ahead of time so you don't get too stressed, you don't get too overwhelmed. Instead of doing 3 things a day, practice on doing one thing really, really well. And schedule your study sessions into 45-minute bursts because it will help to keep you more focused.
So if you feel really stressed while you're revising, what can you do?
Well, you can always talk to people. Talk to teachers, friends, parents, find someone trusted that you can ask, and then they can offer you the support that you need. The other thing is just making sure that you're doing things other than just revising. So make sure you're seeing friends, taking time to rest, doing your hobbies. This will just help you to keep your exams in perspective.
So looking after yourself, taking regular breaks, staying connected to friends and family. That seems pretty easy enough. But what if the anxiety about exams still takes over? Well, don't forget, your teachers are there to help. They want you to do well and have loads of tips they can share. Ask them what you should be covering and get hold of past papers. Staying calm and positive all the time is a big ask, but don't feel like you have to do this all on your own. Okay, so the big day is here. What do we do to keep our cool? Ruby, how do we tackle the big run-up?
You want to make sure you're getting plenty of sleep. Get a good night's sleep the night before because that will mean your brain's more focused when you come to sitting the exam. And also have a good breakfast. Have something which is going to give your brain the energy that it needs. Something like porridge and fruit is a really good option. When you get to the exam hall, the big thing which lots of people slip up on is getting too stressed, letting yourself get too stressed. Try not to think about the exam. Agree with your friends ahead of time that you're not going to talk about it. What you could do is bring a book and read a few pages of that beforehand, which should just help to calm you down, get you all relaxed, ready to go in and sit the exam.
So we get inside, the clock starts. Do you have any advice?
So the first thing you want to do is look through the exam paper. Flick through and see where the highest mark questions are, because sometimes these will be at the back and you want to make sure you leave time for them. But also you can be thinking about your answers while you're doing the rest of the paper. So the other thing is, if you come across a question that you don't know the answer to, that's particularly challenging, don't panic. Circle it, move on, you can come back to it later. You've got the whole rest of the exam to show the examiner what you can do and how much you know.
What if I don't get the grades I was hoping for?
Well, because of the school exam system, we've all become fixated on grades, but grades aren't the end point. And grades also don't determine how intelligent somebody is or how successful they're going to be. Some of the most successful people didn't do well in school, like Richard Branson, Ed Sheeran, Bill Gates. So just because you don't get the grades in these exams doesn't mean you're not going to be successful.
Thanks, Ruby. That's all been really great advice.
Oh, no worries, Jeriah. I'm glad I could help.
So exams are coming, but with great revision tips and knowing how to tackle the day and not stressing out too much. If you try your best, that's all you can do. I think I feel a lot calmer already.
How about this? Zoe the dog has won the Guinness World Record for the world's longest tongue on a dog. She's a mix between a Labrador and a German Shepherd, and her tongue measures a whopping 12.7 centimetres from the tip of her snout to the tip of her tongue, which means she's got the world record licked. Well, that's nearly it for this week, but don't forget you can catch up on all our episodes of FYI on our webpage at first.news/FYI.
But before you go, we're going to leave you with some stunning images to mark World Ocean Day.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.